everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I wanted to do this review of Longlegs. And I know what you guys are thinking. You might be thinking, well, this is not Friday, so what are you doing reviewing a horror film? But this is such an urgent review. I have to do it because I keep seeing so many other movie reviewers reviewed this movie or make an explaining video about this film. I'm just gonna give my review, and if you're gonna like it, that's fine. If you're gonna disagree with me, that's fine too. So I watched Longlegs pretty recently in the cinema. It has been such a highly anticipated movie. Just like everyone else, I'm like really eager to watch it. So I think the first week that it came out, I just go ahead and watch it in the cinema. Here's my review. As you guys know, I'm such a horror freak. I absolutely love horror films. So I have a fine taste in horror films. But maybe I'm just joking. I don't think my taste is as fine as everybody else, but I think I'm kind of up there. Oh. So before you proceed, let me just remind you that there will be spoilers here. So if you don't like spoilers, go ahead and just stop watching this. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So what is the Longlegs about? So this FBI agent is trying to capture a serial killer known as Longlegs. I think his real name was like Cobbler or something like that. What's interesting about Longlegs is that he didn't kill the victims directly, so there's absolutely no fingerprints or whatever that relates to him. But all these about 10 families, if I'm not mistaken, all these 10 families, they died in a very mysterious way. Like, they lived such a normal life, and one day the father just killed the entire family, and including himself. And so they kind of tried to find a pattern, and they found out the pattern is this guy called Longlegs, and so they are out to find him. But apparently the FBI agent, she used to be almost the victim of Longlegs. So that's what's pretty interesting. And also the FBI agent has like a half psychic kind of ability, so she's like have this hunch, very strong hunch, and they're usually correct as well, which is, yeah, again, also interesting. Spoiler alert, apparently he kind of killed the entire family with a doll that has like some black magic voodoo shit inside their brain. So they have this like a steel ball brain that has some spells in it, so it has nothing inside. Like when they do an x-ray on it, like there's nothing inside, but when they check it with like some device, they found out that it has some sound or something. So that's what's interesting about that brain ball, and put that steel ball inside a doll that looks like the victim, and all the victims are like having birthday on the date of 14. So he would give that doll to the victim before the birthday. So maybe on the 13th he would come over and he would give the doll. So the FBI agent Lee Harker, like, she was the one who almost got the doll for her before her birthday, but unfortunately her mother stopped that guy from giving her the doll. But also unfortunately, the mother, well, because she was trying to interfere, and the Longlegs didn't like it at all, so she asked the mother to be his assistant, so to speak. And so she, as a woman, well, and then she's dressing up like a nun, she would go to the victim's house a day before their birthday and would be giving these dolls as the prize. And so once the doll is inside their house, then that's it. Father would have like some dark magic taking over him, and he would just kill the entire family and himself. So Longlegs didn't actually like touch them directly, but he would just give this black magic spell onto them. So you know what makes me a bit not insulted, like annoyed with the reviews out there. Like, they all be like, this is the scariest film in the last 10 years. This is the scariest one I've ever seen, I've ever watched. And I'm like, have you not watched this scarier films out there? Because I feel like Longlegs are not scary at all. Yeah, it's just not scary. I don't know who else agrees with me, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be out there people who agrees with me that I feel like Longlegs are not scary at all. One, and two, it's kind of overrated, because maybe the hype to build up to the release of this film is like really a lot of hype. Like, there's a lot of horror film enthusiasts be like going to Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, TikTok, whatever, and they'd be like, I'm so waiting for Longlegs, I'm so waiting for it. And I heard that the marketing in the US is especially really amazing, that they have this phone number that you can dial in, and then there'll be Nicolas Cage, who played Longlegs, by the way, so he would sing you happy birthday or something like that, which is really nice. I mean, marketing wise, it is really nice. I'm not saying that this movie is bad. What I'm saying is that this movie is kind of, but it's okay, but it's not like the greatest. And I'm kind of disagree with so many movie horror film reviewers out there who say that this is the scariest, this is the best one, and whatever. I just disagree, unfortunately. I think it's good, but not the best. I think it's not that scary. I mean, yes, sometimes I was shocked because of the sound effect, but like that's it. I'm just like, oh, that's it. I don't feel like, oh my god, so scary, I cannot continue watching this. No, it's not scary at all. So if you're like afraid that this movie will spook you, no, you won't be spooked, I guess. Honestly, just go ahead and try it. You won't be spooked. It's just sound effects. Unfortunately, there's no like scary sightings of ghosts. Some people said that the scariest sighting is the doll. So when they give the doll to the house, the doll was like covered in this black cloth, and sometimes the eyes are kind of glowing a little bit, which is, I mean, yeah, it's scary, but it's really not that scary. I mean, it's just, when they open it up, it's just a doll, so it's like, it's nothing scary at all. And I think the story as well, I think the story is kind of undercooked in my opinion. I feel like the story is kind of okay, like there's no twisty ending to it or whatever. I mean, the ending, maybe you can say is twisty, but I feel like I don't know, I've seen other movies that are more twisted, that have more twisted ending compared to that one, compared to Longlegs. And so I just feel like, oh, that's such a disappointment when I found out then. If you are having this expectation that Longlegs is gonna be one of those movies that will mess up your mind or have very twisty ending, I think you should keep your expectation low. I feel like they just like, the explanation is just like, oh, there's black magic, like it's the devil, and like that's it. So the thing is, I would really appreciate the movie's storyline a lot more if it is not something like if it's not something like the devil or some black magic or some, like if it's something more logical, that they really take a long time to craft out the plan, I'll be like, yes, amazing, that's great. So maybe the movie like that is like Seven with Brad Pitt, and the other movie that I completely did not expect the ending, and it's pretty underrated too, is The Boy. You know, the Brahms The Boy, which is the first one, not the second one. The first one was kind of like, what, you know, something like that. So to me, if it is something like that, if it is something like Seven or The Boy, or, well, I couldn't come up with anything. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more. But if it's a movie like that where the explanation is logical, it's not just some black voodoo shit, then I'd be like, yeah, this is great, this is genius, the writers are amazing, genius. But in Longlegs, it's just like, oh, it's just the devil. He has black magic, that's all. To be honest, I'm expecting a lot from Longlegs, so yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but okay, it's like, it's not a terrible movie at all. There's one more bad thing about this film. I hate to go back to the bad things, but I have to admit it. I have to mention it, okay? Okay, so this film has a lot of unanswered questions. Like, they kind of just dropped the bomb and they just left. Like, okay, you should explain it, you know, but they didn't explain it. So like, for example, one is that they talk about how they showed that Lee Harker, the main character, Lee Harker, she never has a father. So they never mention like, okay, where did her father go? Or maybe, you know, the thing is, maybe sometimes when they left these questions unanswered, maybe because there is a sequel or a prequel, so I don't know, they could have those, so who knows. And then also the Longlegs character, he keep mentioning the man downstairs, the man downstairs. I'm like, okay, who's the man downstairs? We kind of like anticipated to know who is that man downstairs that he was talking about. He introduced himself as, oh, I'm just a friend of a friend of a friend, and then the mother, Lee Harker's mother, would ask like, who friend, like who is that friend? And then he was like, oh, it's just the man downstairs, you can call him the man downstairs, Mr. Downstairs. I'm like, okay, but it was never explained who is the man downstairs, and apparently the man downstairs is the Longlegs himself. So I'm a little bit confused. So is it like there's no man downstairs, or there is a man downstairs, or maybe the Longlegs was lying and that he's not actually a friend of a friend of a friend. He is like, I don't know why would he why would he say something like that though? I just don't get it. I think if you have watched the movie, you might understand what I'm talking about, but if you haven't watched the movie, maybe you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's just my honest review on Longlegs. But let's talk about what's great of this film. So number one is the visual. It's amazing. Oh my god, like the pictures, the way they arrange it, it's really great. Like the way they shot, the way they really portray the main character, Lee Harker's emotion. Like she was like from feeling a bit uneasy to panic and to sad. It's really great, and obviously the actress is really great as well, the one who portrayed Lee Harker. I think it's at Micah Monroe, I forgot her name, but yeah, she's really amazing too. Amazing. And I like the fact that because they kind of have this ongoing theme of rhymes, so they put rhymes in certain stuff. Like for example, the name, I don't know if it's intentional, but the name of the two FBI agents, so like the main character and her superior, so the main character is called Lee Harker and the superior is called Agent Carter, so it's like, you know, it rhymes, their name rhymes. I don't know if it's intentional, but it's pretty interesting because at the beginning of the film they did show you a rhyme. Yeah, it's kind of like that, so which is really nice, and I think it's just genius. And then sometimes they have this shadow of like a goat-like figure with horns, so like, you know, to symbolize what's actually behind this. That's really nice too. Wow, like it's very subtle. Like you have to really see it and spot it. And I also have to mention this. I think this is what everybody mentioned. Nicolas Cage's performance and makeup as Longlegs. It's amazing. It's really good. It's probably the best one. Oh my god, I truly want Nicolas Cage playing more serial killer role, unfortunately. The character design actually is a little bit typical in my opinion. I would actually appreciate more if they portray the fact that sometimes serial killer looks just like everybody else, like a normal people, but you know, they went along with that route that serial killer looks like serial killer, weird. And I'm like, okay, fine, it's whatever, they choose that way. But it's really amazing the way they the makeup. Oh my god, the bloated chin, the bloated face, and then the very pale face. It's just really great. It's just like, it is just really great. And then like the way he screamed is wow. I'm like, wow, Nicolas Cage, oh my god. And then the way they put like Easter eggs as well, like the way they keep the dialogue has this like long, like they keep saying long, you know. They would say something like, you gotta take a long look, and like sometimes I waited for a long time. You know what, like they have this sort of script that would say something like that, and it's just paying homage to the title, which is nice. Okay, and one more thing that is really good about this movie is that when they show the main character went back to her mother's house, the interior of the mother's house is really realistic. I'm applauding it, because I feel like there's not many other film will be as realistic as this. You know how usually older people house will have so many items, and they'd be like kind of hoarding as well. So they showed exactly the house is like, it's not too messy, but it's just full of things, and it's just realistic, which I'm like applauding as well. Also, overall, if you ask me what would I rate it out of 10, maybe I would put it a 7 out of 10. Like, it's pretty good, you know, it's kind of up there, but not the best. I wish they would like spend a bit more time in the writing, so they would really come up with like a very elaborate plan that is just not like black magic or the devil, you know. Yeah, that would be my review for Longlegs. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if Longlegs is still showing in your theater, go ahead and watch it. If you haven't, it's a really good one. Just take my review as a grain of salt. You gotta watch it for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.